Hello, local population. 12-year anniversary of FNAF that I was delaying for myself to talk about since the beginning of time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry, guys. You didn't hear that. Anyway, uh, this was put out on the anniversary. Very cool. Love it a lot. Me personally, being part of FNAF since the dawn of time. Clearly, you guys know what the dawn of time is. Back in good old 2014, where things were objectively better and gaming was more affordable, and YouTubers such as Let's Players were mainstream, and people actually like to enjoy long form shenanigans. But speaking of long form, this will not be as long as the other two. This is very short, and very obviously everything is shifting from me talking about funny Roblox FNAF game and just talking about FNAF in general. But that's because I love Five Nights at Freddy's, and it is my pride and soul and passion. But precisely why? Why am I here? Well, for one, I wanted to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's because I love Five Nights at Freddy's. This announcement got me feeling a specific sort of way because, as you can see, we are very happy for being space part of this huge community, as well as appreciating you guys for carrying this glorious fan base since 2014. This is true. The fan base has low-key been carrying the entire franchise since the beginning, and that's because more often than not, there are a bunch of simps. And by simps, I mean just, ride or die with this franchise. And I'm one of those people. I will ride until I die to this franchise in the near future. However, that doesn't matter. What does matter is FNAF World 2 and Security Breach 2. Both games that I personally really wanted to be the case when Scott said that they were working on a 2, not a 3. I mean, Sizzle Location 2 would have been cool, but it wouldn't make sense. It doesn't feel right. But you know what did feel right? FNAF World 2 and Security Breach 2. And holy shit, he did both of them. He did both of them. No one thought he would do both of them, but he fucking did both of them. I love Scott Coulson. He actually did both of them. That's insane. Me personally, I actually thought it was just gonna be FNAF World 2. I genuinely thought it was gonna be just FNAF World 2. Because, that interview where he's like, I want to go back and give FNAF World another shot. And then I was like, well, security breach kind of went off the rails, and it's definitely all my fault, which it was. It was all Scott's fault. Vanny wasn't utilized as a character, and lo and behold, what the fuck do we have? That is crazy. That's crazy. I don't think you understand how crazy that is. This isn't 2014 anymore, where we have the website, Scott Games, we look in, we brighten an image, and we just dig and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig until we find something. But it's become more mainstream than it used to be. So nowadays, things are practically just given directly towards us. Of course, there is a few hiccups here and there, like that one tweet where it was talking about FNAF 188 or FNAF 189. I think that's pretty cool, if true. But of course, there's always FNAF 193, which is also cool. But I think 88 makes a whole lot of sense. Or was it 89? No, I think I'm talking about 88. I think 88 made more sense to me. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I think 89. Well, whatever. There is tweets. There is just given information. There is no bright in the image. There's just look at this thing. And I must say, kind of sucks. I kind of want the secret suspicion thing of it all. And I think everybody does. And if anything, that's what people still seem to be doing. They treat everything like a mystery. When, in more cases often than not now, they kind of just give it to us. Of course, the game is still a mystery, but that is mostly the overarching story rather than the teasers, and the things behind it. If you get what I mean, because I'm pretty sure people do the same thing with Bite by Night. They treat this maintenance like a mystery, like it's a teaser that I have to brighten the image of, when in reality that's not the case. They're just developing a game, and then once that game is done being developed, that's when the game comes back, per se. It's not like a brand new concept that developers just delay things. This has been happening since the start. In fact, they're doing the opposite of what Scott does. Scott releases everything earlier than they're supposed to be. Except I don't think he does that anymore, because is he the one managing the releases? I don't think so. It's just publishers managing that shit now. So they actually you know, grounds to rush people, which is a common thing. Which is why Security Breach 1 was kind of fall flat in some aspects. Regardless, I'll 12 year anniversary, not 14. I want to be there for the 14th year anniversary. In fact, I want to be there for the 15th, maybe even the 20th. I want to be there for the 20th anniversary. I think that would be fire. And in fact, I will be there. I want to be there. But until FNAF actually ends, I want to be there. It's such a great series. Because it does have an actual story. We don't know what it is yet. And I don't know how long this series is going to be milked milked for, or where it's going to go, or what's going to happen, or what the next game is, because there is no way we could have guessed FNAF World 2 and Security Breach 2. There's no way we could have guessed um Edwin Murray for Secret of the Mimic. There's no way we could have guessed Help Wanted 2 ending, Glitch Trap back even more. No way we could have expected Vanessa Vanny. Or like, I mean, I guess people did suspect Vanessa Vanny, but they didn't know who Vanny was. And I think the fact, I don't, is that confirmed that Vanessa was the Help Wanted 1 guard, or the player, or whatever the hell, when you go into the thing and then you get your mind taken over and it's like, loody doo. I'm obviously exaggerating it and making it sound funny for shits and giggles, but regardless, I love FNAF. I love Bite by Night. I love FNAF fan games. I love all the Roblox fan games, such as FNAF 2 Reimagined, Dog Watching, something Marcus, Far From Land, and then there's a few other ones out there. But long story short, I am Five Night Freddy guy. I am one of the Five Night Freddy guys, which I always have been. I keep up with like every theory. I look for new FNAF tubers every now and then. I kind of watch the out there ones. I kind of watch the in there ones. Like crackpot theories aren't even bad. Aren't even bad. The theorizing space isn't even bad. I think people like to make it think it's bad because as soon as someone's wrong, people are gonna be like, well, you were wrong. You suck. La di da. Something like that. I don't know, people have been making fun of game theory for years, even though they just do funny theory stuff, and I don't know why people kind of take that a bit too literally. There's no way anyone in the world could figure out the FNAF story off rip. You can only figure it out years later by going back and picking through it piece by piece. Pretty much. Because, there was the whole 2015 to 2023 debate, and then there was are books canon, are books not canon, what about the novels? How about the movies? How about the Fazbear Frights? How about Pizzaplex? How about, you know, whatever. How much time am I hitting? 9 minutes. We'll hit 10 minutes. let's wrap this all up so I don't waste people's time as much as I have been with all this ranting and talking. The fact of the matter is, Scott Cawthon is a great storyteller. And if that wasn't true, FNAF 1 wouldn't have taken off as well as it did because he found a great concept. And then he made a great horror game. The first horror game, really, of his type. Sorry, I'm dying. And he kind of just ran with that. Now, is there some gaps in time and some spaces in the story where one could just make it up? Absolutely. But I truly believe in what he said in that second interview. He does threads and then he picks them up later because that is precisely what I would do if I didn't have something fully planned out. In fact, that's what I do. I do that. I do. I shit my pants. You know, sometimes I think about this concept for, let's say, a characteristic traits, characteristic backstory, just a character in general. OC, original creation, those things still exist, you know. And they aren't cringe. At least I like to imagine they aren't. But, you know, sometimes I do think of something. And I cannot, for the life of me, necessarily find a way to apply that in a way that would make sense in my mind, in my own brain, until I can logically put it into my own words, my own meanings, to make myself, at the very least, understand something. So, with that as an example, Scott practically does have everything in his head. He puts things in a way that his brain can comprehend. Will our brains comprehend it? No, probably not, but he has something, and he has been running with it for a good 12 years now. The second movie was good. If people shit on it, I thought it was great. I want to see what the third movie brings so I can go back and refer to the second movie later to see how that affects it. Because if it's a trilogy movie, that's going to be very helpful to go back onto the second movie once the third movie comes out. But if it keeps going, let's say 4, 5, at most it would have to end at 5, maybe 6 if we want to be very faithful to the games. But I don't think that will be the case. In fact, that's so many movies, you could probably kill off half the cast and fill it in with a new half by the end of it. But regardless, I cannot be excited enough for the new game teasers that have come out for FNAF. And more importantly, I cannot be any more excited than I am for Bye Bye Night to come back. Because there is nothing like it. You know, there is this one game called Bye Bye Night Control Panel or Admin Control Panel. It does not have the smoothness or anything like that. In fact, it's pretty finicky and it feels like a cheap knockoff. But it does kind of look like the release version of the game, which is cool. Except I kind of liked what the game looked like before it went down into maintenance. Either way, I can't wait. I want Piper Night to come back. I also want to make more music, but I can't really music for the life of me right now. I've been struggling. Not only that, I have no apps. Pretty much no apps. I have to resort to pirating. Shh, don't tell anyone. But aside from pirating Adobe Photoshop and FL Studio, I want Piper Night to come back. Does that mean I mean, I have so many old drawings of thumbnails that I was going to use for when it came back. In fact, I will show you guys one right now before I go, but I will keep talking. As in, you know, I I think there is, if at least, if FNAF World 2 doesn't have anything substantial in it, then at the very, very, very least, we gotta have something happen in Security Breach 2. There's gotta be something revolutionary in there if Scott actually decided to go in for Security Breach 2. Also, yes, I drew all this was age. This is a long, long, old ass drawing. In fact, I don't even remember how I did it. It actually looks pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. But you do have Springer, you do have El Mimic, you do have NR, and you do have Le Puppet, which I kind of took some creative liberty in just making shit up as I went. It's a common trope that happens. I wonder where I got that from. But this was going to be for when Bye Bye Night came back with the puppet update. It's even named comeback.png. But why? Good question. Um, we'll go find out why. We'll go find out why right now. Why did I draw this? Maybe you remember, maybe you don't. But I did make an avatar on Roblox. Original creation. I did make an avatar on Roblox that was... Oh no, wrong one. Sorry guys, wrong. Don't look at all their names. It's cringe. It's cringe, guys. The names are cringe. But I did make a purple guy, a purple guy, if you will. Very purple and very guy. Can you tell how guy they are? Look how guy the purple is right now. But yes, I did make William Afton inspired, Glitch Trap inspired, Follow Me inspired, Springtrap inspired. I had fun. This costed a lot. This was a limited hat. So, fuck you guys. Really. But I was gonna wear it. Was gonna hop into Vibe by Night. And I was gonna have so much fun. And I wanted to see how many people would be able to guess that this was Purple Guy inspired avatar. Not, and if anything, I wanted to look good while doing it. And goddamn do I look good. So, that's why. I have some, well, let's just go through a few more thumbnails that I was thinking about using for thumbnails. Don't look at the names. Some of them might be references. Some of them might have some names you remember, but you don't see it. You don't see it, okay? I did have semi-official. I don't like that one. We're gonna delete that live. There you go. It's gone. I have my... I have the thumbnails from the last one. I did that. We have the Mitt. Oh wait, it's the puppet. Remember that one? I sure do. All on GIMP, which are not on GIMP anymore. What is Where So Back? Hang on. What? What was I? Huh? That's really fucking good, actually. Did I use that? Hang on, guys. Did I ignore that video? Did I use that? That's a really great thumbnail. Did I use that? No, I don't think I did. No, I didn't. I didn't use that. That's brilliant. I'm gonna save that for something. I don't know what. Hey, maybe when Bye Bye Night comes back, I'll do Springtrap only. Maybe you'll get no Survivor gameplay in like 50 Springtrap rounds. Hoax Springtrap most likely, or maybe default Springtrap, so you can, hear me going around going soft, breakable, that shit. Waverly. Yep, that's Waverly's name. Yeah, no, that's actually her and her name. You wouldn't believe it. It's almost like a purple guy. Wait a minute, Five Nights at Freddy's? Yeah, it does look a bit too weird. Doesn't matter. Guys, I like Five Nights at Freddy's. who gives a shit? Wait, oh, that wouldn't. Yeah, okay. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Even though 2014 FNAF fan, I ain't gonna lie. Getting synced into Undertale as well. Kind of fun during that same era. Wouldn't believe it. I did watch that, and it is a good game. And Deltarune is also a good game. Alright, that's enough delaying. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, local population. See you never. I think.